listening to Jonathan and Josh's podcast. All right.
No, that's not a good intro.
You know what, Aubrey? We're recording. We're live, and you are a guest. So.
Wait, you're already recording?
All right. We might need to change what we're doing right now. We were going to have a special guest, and we might need to kick her off. She criticizes our intro.
I wasn't expecting us to be started.
Hey, listen. Okay. We're going to take a pause here. All right, we're back from the pause. And we've asked Aubrey to kind of just, don't speak unless spoken to. So she's gonna be quiet just for a little bit. Johnny and I got to talk. We got to catch up on a few things. It is January 10th, 2024. Look, we need to apologize for our last episode. I think the content was really good.
Yes, I agree. But just the microphones are bugging. Something's not right. We couldn't hear each other. We could, but
we were right next to each other. We could hear each other. The mics couldn't hear us. Couldn't hear me. We are working this out. Look, if you are a producer and you want to work for free on a podcast that will go nowhere, we're looking for you.
Yes. And also, the offer about candles is still out there.
The offer for candles is still on the table. The barbecue candles, the BO candles, the gasoline taco candle. Those are out there. All right. Do you want to introduce our guest today?
Yes, I do.
How long have you known her?
I've known her for probably my whole life. What about you?
I've known her for 19 years.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. All right, go ahead and introduce our guest.
And now, introducing Aubrey Haldeman.
Okay, that's where when we get our producer, they'll put in some music and stuff there. Mm-hmm. Hi, Aubrey.
Hello. I'm so happy to be on the podcast today.
And we are, despite the introduction, we are honored to have you.
I know, that was my fault. I didn't realize we were already rolling. Criticism is redacted, especially since you guys don't have a producer. That is something that we just need to work on. So I will forgive you for your faults.
All right, before we hop into the question with Aubrey, we do need to ask a follow-up question to Jonathan. What was it like kissing a college girl a few days later?
I have to say, I didn't say much when I was right after because I was a little embarrassed. But now, I have to say it was very nice.
Are you getting, what kind of street cred you got at the Cadwallader Middle School?
So, if you don't know, I'm very, very popular at my school now. Probably the top kid at the school.
All right, okay. Well, congratulations on that. Have you even followed up with a text to Mary Beth?
Well, I don't have her number.
You're a player.
Yeah, you know me.
Well, yeah, we do. All right, so we're back over here with our guest, Aubrey. Aubrey is kid number 2 in the order, but not kid number 2 in the preferential chart.
Kid number 1 in the preferential chart.
So we're not gonna go through the rankings right now, but she's in the top 5. Hands down, top 5 of my kids. But anyway, so Aubrey, couple things, just give us you in a nutshell. Tell us who you are. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, I'm 19 years old. I go to BYU, but I'm taking a little break.
A little sabbatical.
A little break for 18 months to go on a mission. I like to read. I don't know. I don't really feel like I have very many interesting things about me.
And let's be honest, you're not. You're not always that
just
interesting.
Normal white chick.
Zero interesting.
So let's get to the hard-hitting questions. There's a few things that I want to know. So I've been your dad your whole life. I've known you my entire life. Well, your entire life. You're kid number 2. And I think you know that I really wanted a boy for kid number 2.
Yeah.
And so...
I knew you wanted one, but I didn't really know that much till now. So I guess it must be a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, when we went to the ultrasound and found out it was a girl, I was like, we loved you. The answer is you always want a kid with 10 fingers, 9 toes, and that's healthy.
9 toes?
Yeah,
I was thinking 11 toes, Dad.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, what you want 10 fingers, 10 toes, healthy kid. That's what you always want. You don't care if it's a boy or a girl. But I already had a girl, and I kind of wanted something different. Like, if I had one scoop of ice cream that was vanilla, I don't want another scoop of ice cream that's vanilla. I want something that's chocolate.
A little more zingy. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not zingy, but it's just different.
Well, then you got
French
David
vanilla.
afterwards. Yeah, French vanilla.
Yeah.
Then you got David afterwards, so I guess.
Yeah, Dave's my little man cub. Now he's just we love David. He's special.
between.
He's a cub. So, all right. So, one of the things, I guess, the question I want to know is, do you think the reason you are so motivated and driven in life is because you're trying to prove to me that you're better than a boy?
No, I don't think so at all. Actually, I think the reason I'm so motivated and driven in life is probably because you and mom have always been like super let's do everything type of a thing. So I'm like, okay, well, I want to do everything too. So
do you think it's I want to do everything too, or do you think are you trying to compete with your older sister and be better than her?
that really has never been a thought in my mind about like competing with that. Like there's some things like definitely have been like I've been competitive with her, but it's not really, I don't know, it's not really like stuff that I don't really feel like I need to be better at her, like school or anything like that.
But are you better than her?
And I think in some ways I am, but in some ways she's
All right,
better than
call
me.
out. She just called out Addie.
Oh,
I did not. I just said,
First shout
I
out.
Okay, all right.
I feel like we both have our strengths and weaknesses.
All right, so what are you stronger than Addison at?
Being single.
that's a pretty good quality.
Yeah, she's married, so she's better at marriage than I am.
Okay, what else? What are you better than her at?
What am I better than her at? I feel like I'm better at running probably since I ran a half marathon and she didn't. But I think she's better at lifting than me. She's always been like way stronger than me, like at that aspect of stuff.
Physically and mentally, or just physically?
Sometimes I do feel like I'm smarter than Addison, but
Dude, Addison right now, she's listening to this and she's like,
I'm coming down tonight.
she's driving down tonight. She's gonna put a knife in your back.
no, I think, but I don't know. She's been proving me wrong a little bit of that recently. We've been having some conversations. She makes me feel a little dumb, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. No, I think we're opposites in a lot of ways, but we're like similar in a lot of ways too. So.
Okay, so you're young, but you're old, but you're not young, but you're not really that old.
Yeah.
Looking back in your short life, what are some of the things that you're disappointed in? That you're like, man, I should have kept doing that, or I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I should have done this differently.
I feel like I don't really have too many things where like I regret too much or really anything like that, but something I wished I don't know. Part of me wishes I didn't graduate a semester early because I graduated a semester early for those of you who don't know, but not that was a bad thing. I think that was like a good thing for, especially like because of like COVID and everything, and I was like in the middle of my high school career. So I guess I wish COVID didn't really happen, but also I feel like I grew a lot because of that. But I don't know. I wish that I would have looked for more positives in my high school experiences than like my negatives, because I feel like especially when I was in high school, I was like, this really sucks or whatever, and I wish I would have been like more positive about that instead. But
Any regrets from you, Johnny?
I regret nothing. Wait, one sec. I would like to say something to Aubrey. You should probably apologize to Addison. Addie could have taken offense.
public apology to my favorite sister, Addison.
You should also take an apology to your other sister.
Who's my other sister? Oh, my mom.
Wait a minute.
What's going on here? All right. What about accomplishments? I mean, you've done some cool things in your life. You got basically all A's your entire life, and I do say basically because
I did get 1 B for helping Tanner McLaughlin, if you're listening to this, helping you cheat in 8th grade English.
And I kind of wish you didn't call him out because I wanted to talk about that story.
Oh.
That's okay. Look, we don't have an editor.
No, we can talk about it because
He's probably not listening.
Yeah.
He's probably not listening, but we're going viral. We've over 60 listeners now.
What?
Yeah, so thanks to all the people that are listening. We couldn't do this. Actually, we could do this without you. We thought we were going to do it without you. But it makes it more fun to know that you're here with us.
Yes.
Also, feel free to leave a comment.
Yeah, subscribe, leave us a review.
I don't think you can like and subscribe on Spotify.
Follow.
You can follow us, whatever it is. We're figuring. I don't have a producer. I don't know what I can and can't do.
Okay.
if there's anybody that wants to be a producer,
Yeah.
we're accepting applications. It pays nothing.
Or candle maker.
All right, so tell the story. I'll tell the story from my perspective what happened, right?
Okay.
So I'm at work and I get a text message that says something to the effect of, Dad, you're probably going to get a call from school. It's a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal. I can explain.
I don't even remember that at all.
You sent me a text.
I'm sure I did, but there's like so many things. Like I remember like these. I don't remember the details, so I'm sure that happened. But
You sent me a text message like right away. You were like, I'm gonna control the narrative, which strong PR move.
Yeah.
Get out in front, tell the narrative. The other thing that you did strong is you said, here's what I did wrong. Like you just fessed up to it, right? Which is another strong PR move.
Yeah.
So what you said is basically said, Dad, you're probably gonna get a call from school. I messed up. I'll talk to you about it soon. Okay. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And then I think you maybe couldn't have your phone out or whatever, but eventually you got to me and said, basically there's this kid, I let him look at my paper and he cheated off of my ideas. The teacher saw him looking at my paper. And so now I'm going to get an F on my final.
Yeah. So basically that is pretty much what happened. But this kid was like, he wasn't here, so it wasn't even the multiple choice part of it. So it was my 8th grade English class, and we had like a final paper to write as well as like a multiple choice exam, and on the written paper, like we had the instructions the day before, and then we showed up to class the next day and we're taking it. But my friend, like he wasn't there the day before, so he's like, I have no idea what we're doing. So he was just like, I don't even remember what really happened. He might have been texting me. I don't know why I was looking at my phone. I don't know. It was stupid. But, or maybe we were at the same table or something. I can't remember. But anyways, I ended up like, he like is like, oh, like, yeah, he pretty much needed an idea of like what he could do for his paper. So I sent him a picture of my paper and was like, just something like this. Don't copy it though. And so then he was looking at the picture of it on his phone, and like the teacher comes up, he's like, what are you looking at? And then he immediately just like points at me, and I was just like, what is wrong with you?
That's honestly the part I wanted to call him out, and I don't know if I can use the strong words that I was going to use.
Yeah, probably not.
Like I was going to call him a coward and a wimp and soft.
He also immediately starts sobbing.
He's crying.
Like I was
Whoa.
Yeah, Tanner the crybaby.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just like, what is happening? Because I wasn't crying. Like, I was like, yeah, this is like my grade that's going down in the dumps. And I think he like felt bad that he had like done that to me. But I was like, honestly, whatever. Like, I think, well, then I later take the next, my teacher she didn't even report me or any, like, she was just like, just don't do it again. And I was like, this is fabulous because this is not going on my record. So thank you.
Yeah.
But, so then I end up taking like the multiple choice exam like the next week or whatever, and I got like a 72 on it. It was like seriously, to this day, one of the hardest exams I've ever taken. It was like the craziest opinion questions out there. So if you're an English teacher, do not put opinion questions as multiple choice on your exams.
Or whatever.
Don't do it.
Okay, I have a few things I have to point out about this story. So first, this Tanner guy, I need to know his excuse for skipping school. If he's sick...
No, he didn't skip.
Oh, where was he?
He was in class with her.
Well, no, the day before, though, he wasn't there.
Yeah,
I don't know where he was. I don't remember.
Donde estás el Tanner?
He was probably crying.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, like, okay, Tanner, at first, you're going to cheat, but you're also going to ask a girl. So maybe you have a crush on this girl. Maybe.
Me and Tanner were good buddies. Like, in 7th grade, we were super tight.
So basically, Tanner wants to marry her.
Yes. Basically.
No. He ended up... So we had a class together freshman year, and then he transferred to Gorman. So that's the biggest red flag if I've ever seen.
So, basically, Tanner is cheating, and that's always a bad choice.
Oh, Aubrey helped cheat, too. I mean, that's why she got a B. You can no longer say, I've never gotten a B in my life.
I do tell people that too because it's like not on my record, so I don't really.
So she lies. She lies to people.
Yeah, I'll lies daily.
every day. I've never gotten a B. Little do they know she has.
That is true. Sometimes I do follow up with the caveat of that story because it's a fun story to share.
Johnny, you can also say you've never gotten a B. You've also never gotten an A.
True that. So, okay, keep on going about Tanner. So then Tanner is immediately sobbing, And I'm thinking, if you're a man, which he was definitely not, an 8th grader man, which means that he's probably tall. Is he tall, Aubrey?
I was probably the same height as him or taller.
Okay, so he's okay tall. And then he's just crying in class.
He was a bit of a softie. Like, that was a known fact.
You know, Tanner, we just drug your name through the mud. I think we need to move away from Tanner. I'm sure he's a wonderful man.
He was one of my best friends in middle school. So, no
we
hate
don't
for
know
Tanner M. I had a crush on him in 7th grade.
Tanner, you had your chance until you went to Gorman. Live with that decision, Tanner. Okay, let's move on. What are some of the accomplishments that you've done in your life? What's something that was super hard that you did that you're like, there's no way I can do this, but you were able to persevere?
So 2 things come to mind, but looking back,
just tell us one. This is a short podcast.
Oh,
I'm just joking.
Okay. No, yeah, 2 things come to mind, but I feel like looking back, I was like, I could for sure do both of those things again and have fun with it. But the first was, actually, I think I accomplished these both in the same year. I don't remember. When did we run our half marathon? Was that 2022?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. It might have been 2021. Anyways, so I ran a half marathon. I'm a horrible runner, but
you're better than Addison.
At running, okay, it's because Addison never runs. And she would never, want to.
So you would never know her potential.
That is true. She probably is better than me at that, so.
All right, anyway, okay, so the half marathon, what's the other thing?
My AP Psych class my junior year, that was so hard. And I was I had to work so hard in that class, staying home on the weekends when I wanted to go hang out with my friends to do my notebook and all my homework and stuff, which sounds pretty pathetic. But at the end of the year, I ended up so he would pick 6 group leaders, and it was the 6 people that had the highest grades in the class. And
Take that, Tanner.
He wasn't in the class.
I mean, he wouldn't have been part of the 6 anyway.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have been. But anyways, yeah. So they picked 6 people, and which is the 6 highest grades, and then you had to be the study group leader for the rest of the group, and whichever group had the highest score, grade, score improvements, for the entire group, the group leader basically won and won a prize or whatever. And so I was up against, so I was a junior at the time, and this was a class with juniors, seniors, and sophomores.
And 5th year seniors.
And no 5th year seniors. But I was up against the valedictorian for my grade, the valedictorian for the seniors, and a bunch of just really smart people. I think even the salutatorian for the senior year was in our class, and I beat all of them, and my group had the highest grade improvement, and I won a $10 Amazon gift card. So
$10?
Yeah, not a big prize as much as far as that is, but that was a huge accomplishment for me to improve my people's grades that much.
So what I learned from that is if you are a teacher, you can, especially, what was the class? Psychology. So this is a perfect class for this to happen, right? A psychology teacher uses his reverse psychology basically to make you more responsible than he is for the success of your students, and to manipulate you by putting in a ton of work for a $10 reward.
Well, yeah, so the $10 reward is because I don't even think I was going to get the reward. I wasn't even working towards that, but I felt like if I were a good group leader, then my grade would improve because I was studying, because I didn't, so basically we had this huge, this notebook, and since I was a group leader, I didn't have to do the notes. I didn't have to redo the notes, which is a huge, one of the biggest parts of being a group leader. But so I didn't have to redo the notebook, which is super, super good. But I did reread a bunch of stuff and to teach all of my group mates a bunch of new stuff. And so I feel that was the biggest reward, because I ended up getting a perfect score on the test.
Yeah, there you go.
So
college credit right there. All right, so I thought for sure when I was thinking about these questions that you were going to bring up the running the half marathon. And so earlier tonight I was asking Jonathan, all right, what physical things have you done that have just pushed you to the max, that have helped you to overcome and do hard things? So what do you think, Johnny?
There are 2 things that fall into the same subject, and then one more thing that falls into a different subject. So one of them was half Murph. And of those of you that do not know what that is, it's basically a CrossFit workout that people do on July.
Memorial Day usually.
Yeah, Memorial Day. That's what I meant. And it's pretty hard. You have to run like a couple miles with the.
So you run a mile.
You run a mile with a weighted vest.
Yep, and then you do. What is it?
Like 300 squats, 200 push-ups, and 100 pull-ups.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And another mile.
And then you run another mile to end it.
So I did half that. So I did half a mile without a vest, and then I did like a 150 squats, 50 push-ups, and then like 50.
No, 100 push-ups.
100 push-ups.
Yeah,
50 pull-ups.
Whatever, but it was still pretty hard, and
Especially for young.
yeah,
For like young people.
I was about 10 when this happened, and I was at 6 in the morning because I had to wake up early to do this, and it was pretty crazy.
So what was the second thing?
Oh, so the second thing was also workout related, and we were doing this Olympic workout thing, and we were gonna do this thing called a wall climb, and we have no idea what this. I've never done this, never seen anybody do
This
this.
is the last workout of the day. You've already
Yeah.
done like 3 or 4 workouts.
Yeah, and so wall climb, you basically have to start with a push-up position, kind of, with your feet on the wall, and then you have to basically climb up the wall with your feet, and then by the end your like chest is almost touching the wall and your feet are highly elevated on the wall, and then you have to climb back down.
Yeah. So you have to do about 5 of those is my recollection. And
Yeah.
so you're smoked, and this is hard. Like this is a hard movement.
Yeah.
And it burns, and especially if you haven't practiced, like you've never practiced this, so it's going to make it even more challenging. And so I remember being there with you, and like you're at this point of like, I can't do this,
Yeah.
and quitting's not an option. And so I think it was just super cool. That's one of the things I love about CrossFit, and we haven't talked about CrossFit. People that do CrossFit know that one of the rules about CrossFit is that the first rule of CrossFit is you always talk about CrossFit.
Yeah.
So I think I've broken that rule, but we're getting immense here. But one of the things I love about it is that camaraderie where people cheer you on and that dig down deep. I'm going to drive for success. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And I remember like you're near tears. You want to quit. You know there's a donut reward at the end. Maybe you didn't know. I don't know.
I knew.
But anyway, so I just remember like cheering you on, saying, you got to do this. You can do this. And you sucking it up and getting up that wall. And that was super cool. As a parent, super fulfilling. Like it was hard. Like I almost wanted to cry with you because I can see how hard it is for you. Mm-hmm. And I can't do anything about it other than cheer you on and try to motivate you.
Yeah.
I think I was there too, and I was like also getting emotional, but it was embarrassing because it was like the super like pumped up music going, and like all these kids were doing workouts, and I was just like getting emotional or stuff. It was funny.
It looks so hard.
Yeah. So I want to share a quick story from mine. So I've ran 2 marathons. The joke I say is that I used to think marathon runners were stupid. Now I know they are. And it's stupid. Like, hey, let's go run 26.2 miles. Like, that's stupid. So the second marathon I did was probably about 7, 8 years ago. And so I trained a certain method using a heart rate methodology. And we're basically like I would run and my heart rate would not exceed 145 beats per minute. And I could run forever at that pace with no issues. And I could run at a good clip, about an 8-minute mile, plus or minus. Depending on the incline, but I could go there and I felt fine. I didn't have any fatigue, and so the day of the race comes and just that nerves and your energy and the adrenaline's kind of going through, and so without even running, my heart rate is already above my target, and so I'm thinking, like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. So I just decided, I'm just gonna start the race and run my pace, and my heart rate will come down. My heart rate didn't come down. And then again with the adrenaline, I'm like, man, I'm feeling really good. So I picked up my pace. Uh-huh. And so I ran a very fast first half of that race. Like I probably set a personal record for fastest half. Uh-huh. And so this isn't
It's always a bad sign. Then you hit mile 20 and you're
it's a
down the crap
really
hole.
bad sign. So it's an out and back. So I run, this is in Hurricane, Utah. Then there's a Sand Hollow Reservoir. And so there's this mile-long hill. It's about a 7-8% grade. And so you ran down at the first half, you get to run out and up at the second half, and it's mile 18 is when you're going up. And so I'm going up this hill, and I have this moment of, I think I'm going to die. Like I literally feel like I'm going to die. And I'm looking at my heart rate. My heart rate's at about 200 beats a minute. And I'm thinking like, this is like my heart's about to bump out of the chest. Like I'm having a hard time breathing. And right at this point, I'm near the top of the hill, but I'm not at the top, but I'm near the top. I see my wife. So Renee had parked there to cheer me on. And she sees me, and I started walking at this point. And she says to me, she goes, "Why are you walking?" Renee, I said, "I think I'm going to die. Like I'm over 200 beats a minute." And she says to me, she sounds like a completely jerk with what she says to me, but it is exactly what I needed. She said, "Josh, I didn't come here to watch you walk. I came here to watch you run. Get your butt moving."
So, go mom. Power couple.
And so that's what I did. I got running. I started running. I picked up my pace. A guy kind of caught up to me, and so we started pacing each other. We ran together for about 4 miles. At some point, he says, "I got to throw up," and so he threw up. I said, "I'll see you at the finish line." And then with about a mile to go, Grandma had you and Addie there. And she said to Addison, she goes, "Hey, when your dad gets about 10 feet from you, don't say anything, don't turn around, just start running." And so that's what she did. She started running. And she paced me that last bit. And then we got to a point where I was like, "Addie, let me just walk just for a second." So she stopped. I walked like the distance of like 2 light poles. I think you'd somehow shown up at that point. Like Grandma dropped you off, you got out of the car. And then me, you, and Addison, we finished the race together.
Do we have a picture of that?
We do have a picture of it.
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
But it was, I did not run another marathon after that.
I have a funny story about running. So one of my 5th grade friends, we were doing a test to see who's the fastest in the class and stuff. And so I'm standing next to these 2 randos at the time, and we start running, and I'm full on sprinting because it's not that far. You just run there and run back. Me and this kid are running the exact same speed the whole entire time. Like we're running there, we get there at the same time, we're running back at the same time. And his name was Tyrese, and me and him are pretty good friends.
There you go.
Yeah.
You bond through running, man. It's a real thing. All right. We're going to do a Would You Rather. This one's interesting. We kind of talked a little bit about this a little bit in the car ride home from tennis with the boys. Johnny didn't give me his answer. We'll start with you, Aubrey. So this is the Would You Rather. Would you rather never be able to speak again, right? So silence the rest of your life, or you always have to say whatever is on your mind?
So you sent me this text and I immediately had an answer, and I know this would for sure be my answer, and it would, I think you can already guess what I'm going to say, but it would be that I always have to speak my mind, because I feel like I pretty much do that either way.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I, like, never being able to talk again at all, I feel like would seriously be torture. Like, that would be horrendous. And also I feel like once you, like, have to always speak your mind, then you'd have to, like, learn how to control your thoughts better, which would make you a better person. So, there you go.
All right, there you go. Johnny?
So, I was thinking the same thing as Aubrey. Always speak my mind. And, you know, like, you can't, you have to think of, like, you can't think, it's kind of confusing, but you just have to control your thoughts. And I think at first it'd be crazy hard to control your thoughts and not think of, like, you suck, bro.
Or, like, that lady's fat. Or,
Yeah.
like, it's just, like, you know.
Yeah, stuff like that. But then after, like, a couple years, you could probably control your thoughts and stop judging people and stuff like that.
So here's, I don't know, we come up with this own question ourselves, so we can make whatever rules, but, like, is it you have to speak it in the moment it's happening? So you're sitting in class, and all of a sudden you're just thinking, I can't wonder what I'm having for dinner today.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
Like, so it's like you have Tourette's too. Like, you can speak it, but, you just shout it out, I mean,
Or is it, like, you always have to express what you're thinking? Because, like, I guess, like, if you had that condition or whatever, then you could just, like, write it down or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like, so you're in class, and again, you're just repeating everything the teacher's saying.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Like, shut up! You shut up!
Writing down notes.
Yeah. There's The Simpsons where Homer's in the jury box, and So this is. I wonder if you can read my thoughts right now. Do you remember what Homer's thinking?
What?
Meow 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 meow. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the silence. I think my thoughts would get me in way too much trouble. I'm gonna take the vow of silence, and like I'll learn sign language.
Yeah, well, but I guess because I don't know, people. You could still hear, so that'd be good.
I mean,
And you could still see. Like, I feel like being blind or... If I had to be blind, deaf, or dumb, I feel like I'd probably choose dumb. Like, as in not being able to speak.
oh, okay. Me
yeah.
and Johnny were like, hey, you're dumb.
No.
Already have one condition. Yeah.
Wait, so I have to be blind or deaf because I'm already dumb?
No, yeah.
Okay. Johnny, did you have anything for us tonight?
I have something. So, I was at school and I saw a bushel of flowers, which is a bush of flowers. And I thought...
I don't think that's what that is. But okay.
I thought, what if there's such thing as superpower flowers? So, you know how you smell flowers?
Like in Mario Brothers?
One sec. I'll get to it. But you're like, you smell a flower? Man, that smells good. You smell this flower? I can fly. And you can just start flying everywhere. And like you smell a flower, I can shoot lasers from my eyes and stuff like that.
Like controllable, or you just open your eyes and lasers immediately come out?
You control.
Okay.
But it might take a little bit to control.
That'd be dangerous. Laser eyes.
Yeah. But you never know.
All right, Johnny, look, you should have shouted that out when you saw those flowers this morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnny, that was really deep. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Aubrey, we're about to conclude our podcast.
Okay, I do have a question
Yeah.
or a thought, I guess. But a couple weeks ago when you texted me about doing this podcast, you said that I needed to come up with, like, childhood memories.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so I was thinking about some of them that I have. And because most all of them are just, like, embarrassing memories of myself. But... Okay, so the first, I won't say all of them, but the first two, the first three that I immediately thought of is, okay, so first, when I was in preschool, it was like 2009, and...
So is it Maribelli or is this somebody's house? Okay.
Maribelli. Did I ever do preschool at somebody's house?
Probably,
I don't remember if I did. Anyway, so I was at Maribelli, and I remember Aunt Megan, like, I just thought Aunt Megan was the coolest. Like, Aunt Megan's my mom's sister.
And she is pretty cool.
Yeah, she is the best. But she always wore, like, the low-rise sweats, and I was like, oh, like, I want to be cool like Auntie Megan, and, like, whatever. And so I was sitting in my preschool class, and I was thinking about that. And so I was, like, trying to pull down my sweats so I could have, like, my low-rise sweats like Aunt Megan. And I just mooned my entire class. Like, just bare cheeking it. Like, and with my purple sweats on. And in my Maribelli preschool class.
I remember those purple sweats. You had purple, Addie had pink.
Yeah, I was always the purple sister.
Yeah.
So I have another thing that... So, one time we were camping, and Ralph and my little brother Ralph and my dad go out in the woods, and Ralph's like, Dad, I gotta take a crap. And so they're out in the woods, and Dad takes a selfie.
With Ralph in the background of it.
Yeah. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, we have a lot of bathroom pictures that have just been taken randomly over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, then the second memory that I thought of is one time I was in first grade, and Miss Rogers, which is also my dad's aunt, but so we were sitting in class, and like I got called up to the front of the room. I don't know if it was like for my birthday or like I was doing some sort of like presentation. I don't remember. Anyway, so I was swinging from desk to desk, like just like putting my hands on, like swinging my feet, and I just completely ate it for the entire class.
Yeah, I didn't know any of these stories. These are great. This will be good for the funeral.
Yeah. Oh my.
Speaking of eating it, there are too many bike stories that I have of me eating it.
Yeah, that we'll have to say that for the head injury podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, last story that I have. This is also related to preschool. But I think it was the last day of like the winter semester of preschool, I guess. I don't really know if you call it a semester or whatever, but, So it was pajama day. I was wearing my Tinkerbell onesie. And it was probably like my birthday or like the day before my birthday or day after, because my birthday is like right before Christmas, so it always falls like around the same day. But I had to go pee so bad, and Mom had just picked me up from preschool, but I always tried to hold my pee when I was at preschool because they only had an automatic toilet, and
Seems to suck you down.
I was terrified of the automatic toilets because I would just be sitting there doing my business and then it would just flush, and I hated when the water would splash on my butt or whatever. It was the worst. And so Mom takes me to the bathroom, and I was like, Mom, come in with me. And she was probably trying to teach me independence or something, or maybe she was annoyed with me, I don't know. So she was like, no, go in there by yourself. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. So I'm already wearing a onesie, which is like kind of harder
Awkward,
to
yeah.
pee in the first place. Like you have to take all of your clothes off. And
Been down in the bathroom.
and I just remember like staring at that toilet and being like, I cannot do this. Like, this is so scary. Like, it's gonna flush on me. It's gonna scare me. It's gonna have water sprinkled on my butt cheeks. Like, just not looking forward to this experience. So I just remember sitting there and just peeing my pants while looking at the toilet because I did not want to. And so I like go out, and Mom's like, okay, like ready to go. And I was like, Mom, I just peed my pants. And she's like, are you serious? And she was so mad at me. And like, I'm sure David was just a little baby at the time, so maybe he was there. I don't remember. But anyways, so Mom takes me to the van. Like, we had to take off my onesie because it's soaked with pee. And Mom just puts me in the turkey trot sweatshirt.
Which you wear all the time
Which
now.
I still wear to this day. I wore it the other day. So now it's just a nice little memento that I have.
So the turkey trot sweater, so it's probably from
2007.
7, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a story of that, the day of that turkey trot. So Grandma Debbie was supposed to run that race with me. She didn't for whatever reason. So Thanksgiving run, I was getting into running at that time. And so I was smoking a turkey. I'd never smoked a turkey before. I'm an idiot with some things. Like, I'm just an absolute moron.
Agreed.
And yeah. And so I was smoking a turkey. So I started, this wasn't like a smoker, like a Traeger where you just kind of fix it, forget it.
Like the R2D2
This
smokers.
so you have to put charcoals, you got to stoke the coals all the time. I'd never like done this before. And I'm an Eagle Scout, so I should know better for this stuff, but I didn't. So anyway, so I get the smoker going. I started, it's about 1 a.m. I get it smoking, and I didn't like, again, I was a rookie. This is literally my first time, so I didn't realize like, oh yeah, every 2 to 3 hours you're supposed to put more coals in there and stuff. So I wake up in the morning to go, well, let's see how it's doing. Well, I mean, it's warm, but it's not hot. Like, you're not cooking a turkey at that temperature by any stretch. And so I'm like, oh, well, let me just take some coals and throw it in there. Because I'm like, there's white coals in there. I thought, like, okay, the heat of that will be able to heat up these new coals that get in there. So I throw the coals in there. I go upstairs. I get ready for my race. I come back down. I'm like, man, those coals didn't light up at all. Like, they're not smoking. There's no fire going. And so I take lighter fluid, and I spray lighter fluid in there thinking, okay, that'll ignite it. Well, it doesn't. So I spray more lighter fluid in there. That doesn't do it. Well, let's do a quick science lesson. Liquid, when it's hot, turns into a gas. Okay, and so I then said, well, maybe I just need to light a match. And so that's what I do. I light a match, I put it down in there, and it like backdrafts. Boom! Like, it blows out at me. I'm stop, dropping, and rolling. I'm in the grass, and I'm now in shock. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was just basically on fire. And I'm thinking, what do you do for a burner? Like, I was so confused. And so,
Well, pause. How lucky are we that the house didn't catch on fire? Like,
Well,
that would have been crazy.
yeah, but the smoker was away from the house.
Oh, okay.
It was about 20 feet away from the house. And so anyway, so I go upstairs and I get my Boy Scout handbook, and I look up burns, and I'm like, oh yeah, you need water. So I get in the tub, I go and I soak, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, I got to get going. I got to race. And so I go, I check into the race, I get the sweaters or the sweatshirt, I get my race bib, and then I see they have a paramedic on staff. And so I go to the paramedic and I say, hey, I just burnt myself. Like, do you think I'm okay to run? He takes a look at my burns and he goes, you're an idiot. You have 2nd-degree burns at least. You need to go get those cleaned out and checked out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So I go to the hospital. The ladies were all laughing at me. They're like, you're an idiot. They clean me up. They give me stuff. I get a phone call from Renee. She's like, where are you at? Like, I need you to help out with stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm in the hospital. She's like, what?
So dumb.
I didn't want to wake you up. I don't know. So I still have the long sleeve shirt that I wore the day of. It got burned up.
Oh, I think I remember. Is it like the...
It was my Ogden Marathon shirt. It's red and black.
Yeah, I remember that.
shirt.
Yeah, it's a memento. You don't let that go. Okay, Aubrey, it's been a pleasure having some of these childhood memories, calling out Tanner. Yeah. And you're leaving us. You're going to be gone for the next 18 months. Vaya con Dios. Is there anything you want to say as your parting words?
Not really. Can't wait to be on the next podcast when I get home.
But do you think what's our listenership going to be when she gets back?
Probably
3. It's gonna go down. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'd probably say more than 100.
More than 100, yeah. That's my goal too. Hey, thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Anything from you, Johnny?
No.
Okay, we're going to keep trying to do better. Hopefully this audio is better than last time.
Yeah.
Send in your comments if there's something you want us to discuss. Or ladies, if you're looking to kiss Johnny,
Yeah.
take a number, get in line.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.